Hey guys, this is DFS Chan coming to you to talk about um, March 15th, LOL DFS Slate. It's an LPL 2-game slate. Starting tomorrow, we'll get some LCK games back as well. We'll have a 4-game, 5-game slates, but tonight, still it's going to be a LPL 2-game slate. And as you guys know, I mean, just a quick recap as to what had happened the past couple days, past several days. Yeah, I mean, underdogs galore. So I think LPL is more wide open than ever. I know the bottom tier teams have been eliminated from the playoff contention, but I still think, from the top to the mid tier teams, I think they're all still alive. Underdogs have been playing pretty well, so to speak. So yeah, so let's look at today's matchup overall. FPX is a slight favorite in that first matchup over Invictus Gaming, and then EDG is a slight favorite over LNG. So yeah, it's going to be a 2 close matchups, at least based on the Vegas odds. So I'll kind of share as to what I think will happen. So just based on the roster comparison here for the first matchup between FPX and IG, obviously IG has been playing pretty well, much better actually, much better with Yukai back in the mid lane over, I think it was Mole. So Yukai is much better in my opinion, and I've kind of said that in the previous videos that I love IG much more with Yukai in the mid lane. I don't think Yukai was the reason why they were losing. I think it's more kind of goes toward the bottom lane and the team's energy around objectives that has costed them the games, a lot of the games, actually pretty close games, I think, in my opinion, that IG should have won. So they're going up against FPX, and Care is starting again in the mid lane over Gory, which I like. Gory was a terrible subpar mid laner in my opinion. So FPX has been struggling as well a bit. So I do want to see where they are on the standings and kind of how they have fared against other opponents in their respective matchups recently. So let's look at that real quick. So this is the website that I use to kind of look at their match history on SofaScore. It's easy website to use. FPX is in the 10th spot on the standings, and then IG is in the 13th spot, but they're only different by 1 game. So 6 and 7, and then 5 and 9, right? So I think they're both close. IG has, like I said, beat Top Esports in the most recent matchup. That was a big upset, one of the biggest upsets on that slate. 3 upsets, I believe, in a row. That had happened on that day. So I think IG was very impressive, in my opinion, over Top Esports. But then FPX has been on the uptick as well. I mean, they beat Team WE. Obviously, they're bad. Team WE is bad, so I'm not hugely impressed with that win there. But then FPX beat BLG. I mean, BLG with Uzi today this morning. They won their game today, but BLG has been inconsistent as well. So I'm not that impressed with this win. But then look at the last 4 matchups before that. They lost to Thunder Talk, who's the worst team in my opinion, with Team WE. They lost to Rare Adam, who's been pretty good. So that's I mean, if there's such a thing as a good loss, that's a good loss. And then they lost to Top Esports Elite Team, and they lost to EDG. So they lost to some good teams, really good teams, and they beat, like I said, BLG, and they beat Ultra Prime, who's, in my opinion, not too bad. I mean, they're still a bottom tier team, but so I do think FPX has been pretty decent. Whereas IG, like I said, they beat Top Esports as a very, very impressive win, most recent win they have. And then they lost to Team WE, the worst team, one of the worst teams, like I said, in the LPL. And then they lost to AL. I actually think AL is a little bit of a tier above than the bottom tier teams that I'm talking about, like Team WE or Thunder Talk. But they lost to them, and then they lost to LGD. So I do think it's going to be a very close matchup, as the odds indicate. I do think, let's see, IG with Yukai back is going to be a problem. I think over against Care. I do like Care's chances here. I think that's just going to be a wash. I think Kled versus June. I think I like June better. Kled is kind of more of he's not as of an aggressive jungler as, let's say, like more elite junglers are in the LPL. And then Zika can definitely hold it down. I think I'm a little bit worried about the bottom lane matchup here. I know that Wink and Lucas, let's look at how they played again here against Jackie Love in the bottom lane. So In game one, they beat Top Esports 24-7. So I thought that was interesting. So Wink over Jackie Love. Then they lost game two. They beat them in game three in a low kill narrative. Wink 10. So that was a close one, gold wise. And then Lucas, Mark, close one as well. So the difference was actually in the jungle. Like I said, June is really good. And that's one thing I kind of said on that video, that Top Esports, Tian is the problem for them. I love Xiaopeng for them, so I don't know why they don't start Xiaopeng. But Tian was the problem and was the reason why they lost against IG. June is a problem. He's really good. He pulled out Kindred in game three and in a decisive game. So that's very surprising, but very impressive. And then Wayward over, let's see, Zika. So yeah, Zika played really well. So, oh man, that's an interesting one. I think as long as Wink and Lucas do not feed, I want to see Top East FPX's matchup. Let's look at the BLG matchup against, is it Doggo or Uzi when they played? Uzi? Doggo. Okay. So game one, BLG won. BLG always wins game one, and then they kind of fall off in the series. So that's what happened here again. FPX, LWX over Doggo. So LWX actually played really well. I mean, looks like he was still ahead of Doggo in gold. And Xiao who over Breathe? No, Breathe still had. Oh. Riven was an interesting pick. And then Care, let's see, mid lane matchup here. Fofo outplayed Care a lot. So Yukai, I think, is going to be an interesting one. In a decisive matchup, though, they beat 16-6 BLG. LWX 14, Doggo 13. So LW, their bottom lane has been really good. I mean, Hang over Crisp. And then let's see, the mid lane. Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I'm worried about the bottom lane. I do think Yukai can outplay Care. I think June will outplay Klid. Zika over Xiaolao. I think that's a wash. So do I take the top half strength for IG, or do I take the bottom half strength of FPX, right? I think that is the problem. Oh man, this is a tough one. Let's look at one more thing that I look at. LPL metrics here. IG versus FPX here. And on the most recent patch. They played 6 games, 11 games, so pretty good sample size there. And they play pretty fast overall. IG actually has an advantage in jungle and lane control percentage. 22 games both since patch 12.2. IG. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go IG. I think I have faith and am hopeful that Wink and Lucas do not feed LWX and Hang. I think the rest of it then will take care of itself. IG with June playing with confidence after that win. I like IG after beating Top Esports. So I'm going to go with IG here to win. So let's do that. IG upsets FPX 2-1, I think. All right. The next matchup of the day is EDG versus LNG. I'm going to say IG upsets FPX 2-1. I believe that Wink and Lucas, no, I believe that Yukai, June, Zika, top is a better top half. Will dominate the top half of the map over Care, Clid, and Xiao Lao Hu. I am a little concerned about Wink Lucas chance against LWX and Hang. As long as Wink Lucas do not feed in the bottom laning phase, I think IG will take care of business, playing with confidence after beating top esports. And they have a lane and jungle control percentage advantage. So that's what I have for the first matchup, like I said. So let's look at the second matchup before it gets too long, this video. EDG versus LNG. LNG is starting Iwandi again in the support position. I don't think it really makes that much of an upgrade or downgrade. I think it's like a swap. EDG is starting Flandre in the top lane, but EDG is a slight favorite at minus 150. So let's look at who they beat and who they lost to, and same for LNG. So 150 is 175 here, so it must have gone up. EDG is at 9-5, and LNG is at 9-5 as well. But both teams have been struggling a little bit in the past, let's say 5 to 10 games. BLG has beat EDG here, and then EDG, like I said, EDG has beat BLG. I'm sorry. And then EDG has lost to AL, RNG, good team. So yeah, I think that's an interesting one because I think BLG is not as good as people have advertised, have been advertising this season, in my opinion. And then AL is not that bad of a team, I think. I mean, and they lost to RNG again. RNG is a solid elite team, in my opinion. But EDG beat LGD. EDG lost to Top Esports, another elite team, Victory 5 elite team. So they lost to all the elite teams, but they beat, the inferior teams basically. And then LNG has lost to, let's see, JDG, pretty good team. Top Esports, pretty good team. But they beat LGD, they beat Thunder Talk as they should have. And then they lost to Victory 5. They lost to WBG, RNG. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is another scenario where both teams are close. So I do want to see the roster comparison real quick. I mean, Doinby has not been playing well, and Scout has, but I like the bottom lane here. Light and Iwandi's chances against Viper. I don't know. Viper and Mako have been playing. Obviously, they're a good duo, but they have not been playing as well as they were last year. And then I love Scout over Doinby. So as long as the top half here, Flandre versus JJ versus Ale Tarzan, I actually think EDG is going to win. I think Doinby struggle in the mid lane is going to cost them a lot of games. I think Scout is good enough to be able to kind of hold that lane against Doinby, and then Viper and Mako will take care of themselves. So I like EDG a lot here. But let's look at the actual metrics too here, just in case. Because let's say since patch 12.02, each team played 24 plus in 25 games. Jungle control percentage, LNG actually dominates that a little bit. JJ has not been playing well, as well as I guess Tarzan. But then laning phase is up. EDG actually up in GSPD. And then the latest patch, both teams played 11 games. And then jungle control percentage is actually EDG is favoring. So EDG has been playing a little bit better, and GSPD is also up. So that confirms my EDG pick. So I think I'm gonna say EDG wins. EDG beats LNG. I'm gonna say 2-0. I like Scout's chances over Doinby, who has been struggling this split, and Viper plus Mako over Light Iwandi. Top half hopefully does not feed. Tarzan slightly better than JJ, but overall metrics point to EDG winning with lane and jungle control percentage advantages. So that's all I got for you guys today. Like I said, I think I have IG upsetting FPX and then EDG beating LNG. In terms of the kill upside, let's look at 0.84 for this EDG LNG matchup for the overall split. But then let's look at how fast they've been playing overall, more recently rather. 9, so 5, so about the same. EDG playing faster than LNG. And then let's look at IG versus FPX real quick. Overall average split CKPM is sitting at 0.86. So a little bit faster than that second matchup we just talked about. But then most recently, IG has been playing fast, much fast recently. 0.18, so 0.09, 0.89. So yeah, faster. So yeah, I like IG, that IG FPX matchup to be more bloody than the EDG LNG matchup, but depending on how you think it will play out, I have EDG winning LNG 2-0, so there could be a game not play bonus that could favor EDG long stack, but you know, for what it's worth, just overall IG FPX matchup will be more bloody, or projected to be more bloody. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Feel free to reach out at Dfs Chan on Twitter or on Discord. If you like the video, please hit the like button here below, and then you know that encourages me and motivates me to to make more videos throughout the week. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one. Thanks.